Well, welcome to another Emerald Hill Skies live stream. We're operating on the outskirts of Louisville, Kentucky on a frigid night. It is apparently 13 degrees out there, but it says here that it feels like 7. And I believe every word of it. I've just come in from trying to set up the scope, and I still don't have any feelings left in my fingers. For the most part, the scope is set up, but I did not get polar aligned yet. We've got here on our screen a couple of new panels that we're able to look at, I hope. This one on the left is our new Pegasus-Astro Pocket Powerbox Micro controller that's up on top of the scope. And it is indicating to us that the scope is getting the voltage of 12.7, I guess varying up to 13.6. Current is around 1.9 to 2. I imagine that has to do with the dew heater. When the dew heater switches on, it probably takes a hit on the voltage, doesn't it? And the temperature out there, it says in the temperature sensor, is 9.5 exactly. The relative humidity is 84%. So the dew point is 5.7 degrees. I tell you what, I gotta love the fact that we're able to see now this kind of data. We've never had this kind of data at the scope, and I'm excited about that. I tell you what I'm not so excited about, and that is the fact that it was so cold that I couldn't even when I turn on the laptop and try to start up the laptop, it was as if the laptop was in slow motion. Let me just adjust this little screen there. I don't like the fact that tell you what, I think I'm going to come back here to the webcam and move that over, and then move this over, something like that, and then go back to the screen. Now I think I can put that back. Yeah, that's a little better, isn't it? Okay, so that's the Pocket Power Box Micro. And if you're on the live screen, by the way, welcome, and feel free to tell us where you are logging on from. Let's see. We've also got the dew heater reporting down here. We've got it on auto, so it's supposed to do everything automatically. Pretty excited. And then this little, I wonder if I can, yeah, let's try that just for a second and see what that looks like when I try to make that bigger. It doesn't look like it becomes bigger. But look, it even graphs the temperature and the dew point. And it graphs the relative humidity. Love this. And then here's the power graph. Shows how many amps it's using, and up at the top, what is the input voltage. So that's pretty fun. I tell you, small pleasures. There's the Brampton Observatory. Good evening from Ontario, Canada. Glad to have you on here. Then on this screen, this is the Pegasus-Astro USB control hub, also brand new, and it is operating as a USB hub on top of the scope as well, and these are partnered together, so kind of working together. It's telling us the USB voltage here, and it even lists the devices that are plugged in. And boy, I'm not seeing everything, but look here, this Bluetooth thing is back. That's not good, but not seeing the cameras there. That's not good, is it? So I wonder if we need to get rid of this Bluetooth thing. We ran into this the other night. Papa Tech, sitting outside in Central Florida, 52 degrees, taking pictures of the rosette. Love the show. This is absolutely not fair that you should have 52 degrees down there. This is a real-time temperature readout from the scope out there. 9.5 degrees is the temperature currently. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to open up the device manager, and we're going to look at our ports. This happened the other night. Now look, there, it looks like that's still disabled there. But over here it shows Intel wireless Bluetooth device. I wonder if I can somehow disable that out there. I don't think I can. But I wonder if that's somehow interrupting things. Minus 15. It is not minus 15 centigrade up there, is it? In Ontario? Minus 15 centigrade. Let's do a quick conversion. Let's see, each centigrade is worth a couple of Fahrenheit. So if you're 15 below zero, that means 15 below the freezing, but you have to double that. So that means it's zero, right? 0 Fahrenheit. Yeah, Celsius. I think that means 0 Fahrenheit. That's cold, but you know, it's not that much different, I guess, than what it is here now that I think about it. I'm just not used to it being this frigid. Anyway, these Bluetooth things, we had to disconnect them the other night in order to get control of the mount. And look, over here it says there's another one back, and it says port 10. So what if I'm tempted to disconnect this and see if that brings us back. Because look, there's port 1 and port 4, port 2.3, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 10. Bluetooth. See, that shouldn't be right. There should be nothing out there with Bluetooth on it. So let's remember this 10 port might be betraying us. All right, so having looked at all that now, let's make sure, by the way, that we're back on the right setting. Yeah, we're on screen. Okay, so let's try now to see if we can see our mount. And to do that, we're going to open up this control here. Now, I'm just curious what ports it's seeing. It's seeing 7, 9, and 10 COM ports. So I'm going to try to say OK there, and it cannot find iOptron devices. So that means there is something wrong. Something wrong in River City. Now, the good news is I can feel my fingers again. So that means I can go out and troubleshoot this. Another piece of good news, by the way, is that over here on the Icron Raven, the 3104, it says we have good USB 2 and USB 3 connecting out there to the remote Raven. So that means it's not in our USB extender. The problem is somehow in these COM ports. So let me just try this one more time. Cannot find any. Okay, I'll tell you what, while that's thinking, let me bring up this reflector and there we go. I'm going to see if I can bring up our view of our scope. We use a program called Reflector 4, and then we open up our WISE camera, and let's see. See, we have to do screen mirroring. It's not seeing the team expansion guest. That's what this should be on. So it is. It is. just not seeing. Well, that's a shame, because to show you the scope tonight, gonna have to literally show you a picture of the iPad. I wonder if our temperature is against us here tonight, some kind of temperature demons. Anyway, what I can tell you is that we are not yet communicating with our mount, and that's no fun, is it? What that means is we're probably going to have to go back out and try to troubleshoot at the mount. Now, here's what approach I think I'll try to use. I think I'll try to, first of all, disconnect the cameras in case the cameras are interrupting our communication with the mount. I might also connect directly to the mount with a USB directly to the laptop, and at least polar align. That'll help us. That's my strategy. It looks like both of these boxes are working. You can tell this one is faithfully executing its role in the 9.1 degree Fahrenheit night. So it's not the pocket, it's not the Pegasus pocket box, and the USB controls are all good. They're lit up, so it's not that. Something though is trouble in River City, and what I think I'll do is, to spare you all the boring nature of just I'm going to have to stop the stream, because I'm going to have to take the laptop back out there and see if I can get the mount going. So why don't I do this for tonight? Why don't I say, this is some of what happens in winter electronically assisted astronomy. We say this phrase sometimes: what can possibly go wrong? And what are the things that we try to do to get around this? Well, we try to use the same setup every time. And my problem is, tonight I've changed a lot. I've gone to a new power box, a new set of USB ports. I'm running a different way through the mount so that every device is running through the in-mount wiring, and I'm trying to bring one connection from the mount, and that is not streaming off the telescope. It's coming from the mount right ascension axis, which is going to be good if we can get it going, because it'll mean that the telescope will no longer have any wires at all dropping down and flowing off of it like a waterfall, if we can get this working. But it has not worked yet tonight. So I'm going to apologize if you guys logged on and stayed up late for this. I apologize. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to keep working on this, and there's no telling whether or not I'll get it working at all. So don't stay up. But I'll just tell you that if I do, and if I make a live stream, you'll be able to check back tomorrow at Emerald Hill Skies channel here on YouTube and look at the recording. That's the most polite way to do this with you. In the meantime, I'd like to say it's really exciting to know that the James Webb Space Telescope is performing so well. They worked on it, though, for 20 years before they shot it up into the night. I don't know if I could bring up, let's see if I can bring up for you here. I know you're probably going to this as well. This James Webb Space Telescope, kind of like the headquarters for the James Webb Space Telescope, the JWST. You can follow along through this kind of sequence of steps, and you can see that this is where it passed up the orbit of the moon, and now we're 653,000 miles from Earth. That's really far. That's over 500,000 miles from Earth, and the distance is 72% complete. So it's almost 3/4 of the way there. Now talk about cold. On the hot side of the telescope, that is the side facing the sun right now, at this very moment, this is real time, the telescope's reporting back 131 degrees. So that's incredibly hot. And that's at the sun shield structure. Now at the actual spacecraft bus equipment panel, it's just 50 degrees. So it's equal to Papa Tech's temperature down there in Florida. Now look at the cold side. It's down to negative 327 Fahrenheit. 327 below zero Fahrenheit. And that is at the instrument radiator. And then at the primary mirror, it's 278 below zero. Now notice the way all the sun shields are out. And I was listening to a guy, an astronomer today from, I think, University of Michigan, who is affiliated with NASA and helped in some of the early designing, dreaming for this scope some 15 or 20 years ago. He said, think of these insulators as being the equivalent of, you know how your house might have 30 SPF or whatever? SPF? That has something to do with sunscreen, doesn't it? Whatever that rating is they give insulation, instead of 30, think of this as about 1 million. To be able to keep the hot side hot at 131 so it can pick up the solar radiation and power the scope, and to be able to let the cold side be minus 327, it's a miracle. And everything so far, every single stop along the way has worked incredibly well. You can see that the secondary mirror has been deployed, and now we're starting to deploy the primary mirror. It's basically deployed in its simplest way, but now the mirror segments have to be tuned one at a time. So we've got quite a bit of time left. 72% of the voyage is complete. I imagine these numbers here are days, so it looks like we've got about 2 weeks left before we reach that L2 Lagrange point. I want to just make sure I clarify in case somebody from here in Louisville, Kentucky is watching. There is a little town 25 miles out along Interstate 71 that's called Lagrange. This telescope is not going to be located in Lagrange to do its observations. This is the Lagrange point that is about 1 million miles away from the Earth, way farther than tons of orbits farther than the Earth, than the Moon. So it's not Lagrange, Kentucky. This is the second Lagrange point, out farther than the Moon is from the Earth, and orbiting kind of in sync with the Earth around the sun. So we can get everything tuned tonight and get the my fingers, I can feel my fingers again, get the scope working. We'll make a live stream, then we'll record it. You can watch the recording tomorrow. Thanks a lot for visiting. We'll go ahead and end this for now. Thank you for checking in, and appreciate you, I guess, the Brampton Observatory and also Papa Tech. Thank you so much. Sounds like you're already imaging down there. Have a good rest of your evening, and thanks again.